Hello fellow travelers and those interested in traveling more. Welcome to my channel. I'm Brittany, aka Whimsically Britt, and my motto is, come with me if you want to live. This is the second part of what's going to be a 3-part series of my 5-day trip to Berlin. In part 1, I went over the booking details, best way to get to and around Berlin, an awesome techno painting workshop, exploring the central neighborhood of Meat, including highlights such as Alexanderplatz, the Brandenburg Gate, and the Holocaust Memorial, and some Berlin staples that you must try. I also featured a local photographer you can book to help you capture your special moments in Berlin. So if those interest you, check out part 1. I also mentioned in part 1 that I was solo for the first 28 hours of my trip, which was roughly from 1 p.m. Thursday to 5 p.m. Friday. So here in part 2, we'll continue where I'm joined by my friend. Our first order of business on this Friday evening was to check out one of the most popular rooftop bars in Berlin, the Monkey Bar. This is a great spot for sunset, and the bar overlooks the Berlin Zoological Garden, hence the name Monkey Bar. I suggest arriving earlier than sunset to secure a seat overlooking the zoo. Either way, the vibes, drinks, and views were worth it. We ended the night by looking up a comedy show. If you don't speak German, make sure you search for English comedy shows. We ended up at Cosmic Comedy for €10 per person, which included a free drink. The comics and vibes were great, and at one point they even gave the audience a free shot. So here I am the next morning grabbing breakfast at my hotel, the Social Hub Berlin. You can pay a little more on booking.com to include breakfast in the price for your hotel, or be like me and pay €15 the day of. I was very impressed with the selection of chia seeds, flax seeds, oat milk, and more. And it makes sense considering the hotel is also partially a college dorm, which may sound off-putting, but in part 1 I mentioned all the reasons I chose it, and I'm happy with this hotel. For day 3, we began at the Berlin Wall Memorial, which you may be surprised to find is not a wall at all, at least where we got off the train. Instead, there are poles that mark where the wall once was. Mistakenly, we thought that was all there was to it, and boarded a tram for our next activity. Avoid my mistake by taking some more time to walk east down the street to the part of the wall that's still erected. Plus, there's a large park there. I did catch a glimpse of the wall while on the tram. Stop 2 is one that I highly anticipated, the Disgusting Food Museum. I'll pause now to warn that some of the stuff here is indeed disgusting, so feel free to skip ahead to this timestamp if you'd rather not see it. Otherwise, let's go. The tickets fluctuate between 10 and €17 depending on the day and time slot. You can get them online or walk in like we did. So they give you a barf bag just in case. I love the gimmicky souvenir barf bag, which apparently some people actually end up using. And the museum showcases dishes from around the world through displays and videos. A lot of the videos were a little graphic, not terribly so, and this is coming from someone who can't watch gory movies, but I also don't want my video to accidentally get flagged, so you'll just have to see the videos yourself, except for this one. Here we have ikizukuri, which is to be prepared alive in Japan. It's a freshly disemboweled seal stuffed with 500 small Arctic birds, then sewn back together. So this one's called Stinking Bishop, and I've never heard of it. It's from Great Britain, and this one. The smell is described as a rugby club changing room. A table? You're eating it? Oh.
Yeah, that's worse than you think.
It's worse.
Yeah, I thought it's the table, not just a table.
That was so anticlimactic. Right, tarantula. Escargot. Stink bugs. Conga cake made of mosquito-like flies called midgets. Gross, nasty. So I had these beans in Japan called natto. Turns out they're not beans, they are a bacterium. We got durian here. I know a lot of you know what durian is. You guys ready to see the most disgusting foods of all? Twinkies, Pop. I actually like Pop's Hearts. Terrible. At the end, you can actually try a couple of things. Yes. Oh, salt licorice and the durian.
Ja też to zjem wszystko.
I'm gonna try sauerkraut juice. That's not bad. I mean, if you like sauerkraut, it's not bad, which I do. Alright, now I'm gonna try salt licorice.
Nie wiem, czego to jest. Ja to nie jest to. No co? Wierzysz, tak?
Proud to say that I did not add to their vomit count. Right around the corner from the museum is another popular point of interest, Checkpoint Charlie. This was the most famous checkpoint between East and West Berlin during the Cold War. You can take photos with the checkpoint booth, the American sector sign, or visit the Checkpoint Charlie Museum or The Wall, a panoramic exhibition that transports you back to West Berlin during the time the wall was still intact. We skipped the museums and headed to explore another neighborhood. And it was about time we were due for lunch. Now, I strongly believe in trying the local foods wherever I travel. If you don't know, Schnitzel is a German staple, but it actually comes from Austria, so I had no issues with trying out this Austrian restaurant in Berlin. Schnitzel is a thin slice of meat, typically breaded and fried until crispy. It reminded me of country fried steak in the southern US. After a satisfying meal and 2 hours of rest, nearby was one of the main reasons for my visit to this neighborhood. Oh, is that a line? Oh, not. Oh no! Everyone knows about the secret teledisko. Okay, this is the smallest club in the world. It's called a teledisko. Berlin has 5 telediskos of different colors placed around Berlin. Some are in public and some are inside of clubs. For €2 you can pick a song, and for €2 more you can get photos or a video, and for €6 you can get it all. I opted for just a video. Just doing a little more roaming before heading back to the hotel. You stand outside? Okay. We're here at Catnip Coffee. Cats might be up there, I don't know. So the cats hang around out here. They may be sleeping somewhere, hiding, don't know. Oh my god, I found one! This is the most nonchalant kitty. I'm just going to pet the kitty. They would draw something. But before we left, we stopped by the Oberbaum Bridge, a beautiful double-decker brick bridge that connects what was once East and West Berlin. Of course, we found a boat rave because it wouldn't be Berlin without some techno music. On the way out, the bus also drove by another point of interest, the East Side Gallery. It's another original piece of the Berlin Wall that's now covered in street art and is very popular for photos. After resetting at the hotel bar, it was time for a pre-booked sunset dinner at the Berlin TV Tower, one of the main landmarks of Berlin. I booked this as soon as possible because I didn't want to miss out on the views. Tickets were 28.50 euros per person to reserve a table, and didn't include dinner, but the menu was reasonably priced, considering it was a tourist attraction. You can also book cheaper tickets to see the view from the floor below without dinner. My favorite feature of dinner, though, was the fact that the restaurant rotates. Another note, you are required to check your jacket or you have to wear it the entire time, because jackets aren't allowed on the back of your chair for some reason during dinner. The attraction is indoors, so you don't have to worry about being cold, and coming from me, someone who keeps her home at 77 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, and I wore a camisole to dinner. We ended the night by hopping a few bars in Alexanderplatz, including one where you can play billiards. But the wait was too long and we ended up just drinking. And that ends day 3, our Saturday night in Berlin. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel for more. And stay tuned for part 3, the final installment of my Berlin trip.